What's up, everybody? Welcome to Friday Liveday. We're here. I'm chewing gum. This is what it looks like to chew 5 gum. How are you guys doing? Let's see who's here. Dean's here. Rick's here. Manzy's here. So hi's here. What's up? What's up? So, the very first thing we need to do, Daniel. Was it Daniel or David? I don't remember. Let me look. Somebody. Hold on. Talking to a lot of people today. David. David asked me to look at this Illustrator file for him, so we're going to do that really quick before we jump into jobs. What's up, Chris? So, here's my desktop. And we're going to open Illustrator. We don't need this anymore. And here's this PDF that he sent me, so let's open this up and see how it opens. You never know how PDFs are going to open. Sometimes you get vectors, sometimes you don't. This time we're getting vectors, so. Alright, so that's good. If we look at the Laser Master Academy website here, here's David. Let's just review. Actually, it's not in the DMs, it's in the main chat. Let's see what he was saying. So, he says, I made 3 boxes, but need to combine to one and not overlap at the center lines. What do I need to do? Okay, so he could mean a couple different things by this. And we're going to do all of them. So, I think we're going to do this 2 ways. So, let me first, we're just going to make a copy, because we're going to do this 2 different ways. So the first thing that I think he might mean is that he wants these to all be one shape. See how they're stroked out? Like, that's not going to engrave very nicely. So the first thing we'll do is select all 3 of the shapes like this. And we're going to object, because right now they're strokes. See how they're strokes? There's stroke outline. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is object, and we need to expand them into shapes. We can't do anything with them until they're shapes. So now we've got shapes. But you can see these various overlap points here. That's no good. That's not what we want. So what we now need to do, actually, we don't even need to use, I was going to use Shape Builder, but we don't even need to use Shape Builder. If we come in here and we click Unite, boom, there's Unite. And now it's one nice piece, nice and sharp, no problems whatsoever. This is ready to go to EasyCAD. So that should be fine. The other way we could do this is we would do object expand. And let's say you wanted to do just certain sections, you didn't want to do the whole thing, we could grab the Shape Builder tool. And you could actually come in and like draw connect these. But this gets weird because you see these little black edges, like if you don't click them, that's going to be a separate shape. So you have to make sure you click them all. But it does give you the kind of the ability here to just do certain sections instead of doing the entire thing. I think that was it. I think we just did all of it in one go, which is pretty convenient. The other thing you could do, if you wanted to, is like, see how there's nothing in the middle here? There's no shape here at all. If we want this shape out of this box, again, we can just kind of select this with Shape Builder, or we'll just select it with the selector tool, and we could go 1, 2, 3. And now we could actually, if we ungroup this, excuse me, if we ungroup this, we can now grab those 3 shapes. And now we've got like the plate negatives, and that's kind of cool too. But I think this is what he wanted. So that little piece right there, we did that just by selecting the 3 of them, expanding them, and uniting them. And that's all we really have to do to get that done. So to avoid confusion, I'm just going to delete all this other stuff that I don't think he asked for. Just get rid of that. We'll keep the good one that we fixed for him. And we're just going to save this. We'll do steel rivets X1, and we'll save that as a PDF. And then we'll also do save as, and we'll save it as an Illustrator file form too. And of course we're going to do version 8. And we'll hit OK on that. And we can close this file out. And we're going to come back into the Laser Master Academy here, and we're just going to send these back to him real quick. So let's get these sent over. 1 and 2. Open. Says, there you go, David. Just did it on the live stream if you want to rewind and see how it was done. So that one's done. There was another art question here. Ross is asking me about this pattern and why it's like being broken up into little overlapping pieces. I want to help him fix it, but for some reason LMA is not letting me download this AI file, so I asked him to zip it. So we'll keep an eye on this. And we'll see if Ross gets that zipped for us, so that we can show how to do that. So that's it. Boom, easy, fast thing that we did. Now it's done. 3DHP is here. What's up? Good to see you. Don't forget to smash the like button. We're public today. Today it counts. You're welcome, David. I hope that helped. I hope that's what you were asking me to do. Hopefully I understood you correctly. Nice, good. What to do? What to do today? Well, we do have one thing we need to do. But of course we're not set up for it. So I have to do a rotary thing. I don't particularly want to do it, but when we're finished with that, we're actually gonna have a little free time, I think. So we're gonna do a quick rotary thing because I need to send a sample out, and then when we're done, we're probably gonna set up the pigtail flippers. I'll go get them now so that you guys can see what we're doing. This box is like 60 pounds. Oh boy, I'm gonna stab myself. Okay, all right, let's open it up. I think you guys are gonna get a kick out of this. We're gonna set this job up because it's time to start. We have to start it. We're running out of time. This is one box. There are 11 of these boxes right on the other side of the wall. 11. And every single one of them is filled with pigtail flippers. These guys right here. There are 2,400 of these that need to be done, and they need to be done in 7 days. So this is going to be I believe this is going to be a CO2 galvo job for sure. One annoying thing, of course, about these is that they are all different lengths and sizes. Extremely frustrating, and they don't appear to be sorted by size, which sucks. So we're gonna have to come up with a clever way to jig these up so that no matter what size we're doing, we're always ending in about the right spot. I like guns. I'm not like a two-way maniac, but I'm a gun guy. Sure, yeah. And I live in New York. I moved here from California. I've always lived in blue states. I like blue states better, actually, for being honest. But this isn't a show about politics. 342 per day. We're gonna do way more than that, man. I'm aiming for like 1,000 a day. But we really sit down and grind these out. I shouldn't be live streaming, but you know, I love you guys and I like hanging out with you. How long do you reckon per handle? 5 to 6 seconds. 5 to 6 seconds per handle. We're gonna do way more than 42 per hour, bro. We'll set it up. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna set it up. We'll get a time. We'll get a run time on it. Yeah, absolutely. 6 seconds times 1,000 pieces equals 6,000 seconds divided by 60 seconds in a minute is 100 minutes divided by 60 minutes in an hour is an hour and a half. We should be able to do, I mean, there's packaging and repackaging. That's going to be the bottleneck here, honestly. The slowest part is going to be packing and repacking and unpacking, packing and unpacking. The other trick here is to get a really, really dependable jig built that works regardless of the size of the handle. That's what we're going to be doing today. This is like a full-on jigging lesson day. So we need to work on that. We're going to talk all about it. That's what we're going to do on today's live stream. Let's talk about building a smart jig that's going to work for every single one of these handles, regardless of the size. And if we can get that built, if we can get something functional put together, we should be able to hit our target in a couple days. I feel really confident about that. So, like I said, we're going to talk all about this, but not yet. Oh my God. It smells like Kohl's or like Macy's, JCPenney, like shoes. Weird. We could go Legos. I don't think we're going to go Legos, though. I think we're going to go with wood. I think we're going to do some kind of like cascading wood jig. We'll talk about it. We'll get to that. But I have a very good customer, very friendly customer, who's waiting for a sample on a bunch of bottles that I have back here. So we have to do one. We just have to do one. So that we can take a photo and send it to him, because he needs to see that. So we need to do that first. As soon as that's done, we'll sit around and mess around with this and the CO2 Galvo. Knock a couple of them out, get a run time. We'll see how they go. It's $3 cyber at 2,400. So not bad. It's a decent payday. We should get them done pretty quick. Not too bad. But like I said, Tumbler first, then this. So let me go put this down. It's crushing my legs. They're so heavy. I wish I had somewhere better to put this, but leave it there for a minute. This whole box right here is full of AK flats, so that's another thing we can do later. There's 10 AK flats in that box that need like ATF markings done. Alright, put this on the little table. Oh my God, it's so heavy. Alright, back and live there for a minute. Here are the tumblers that we're doing. There's two sizes. Brilliance laser ink, obviously. I'm not going to try to do these on the fiber. There's too many of them. It's going to take too long. So we're going to Brilliance laser ink these. He usually has a graphic that spans from the top of the cup down to the bottom, but this isn't going to fly with that because of the curve, especially on the bigger one. That's just too much. I don't want to push that. So you know, we could probably get away with it, but you're going to see a quality difference in the Brilliance as it as it drops down, and also it's going to be squished closer together on the smaller portion of this and more, appropriately spaced on the wider portion because of the change in diameter, and I just don't want to mess with it. So I told him for this we have to really work in this area up here. So I'm going to spray both of these with Brilliance in their top sections, and then while those are drying, we're going to try to adapt his file to the new mugs. We should get a Lighter. Before we do that, we should throw some stuff together in Illustrator. Just our kind of like our work area. Let me find my caliper. All right. I'm just making rectangles, so I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. We're just making 2 rectangles, and we're assigning them a width and a height. So for the rectangle height, for the big guy, we're going to call it 100 millimeters. And for the width, we need the diameter times pi, which is easy enough to do. So we'll get this as close to the center as possible. We got diameter, which is 100 millimeters. That's a nice little square. 100 millimeters times pi. It's 100 times 3.14 is 314. So the width is going to be 314 millimeters. And there's our first square. I'll show you guys the squares in a minute. I'm just making squares. For the second one, same deal. Height first. So our square height on this guy is going to be about 80 millimeters. Sounds good. So height, 80 millimeters. And then for width, diameter times pi. Again, a nice little square. We've got 87.7, which I'm not that good at math, so calculator, 87.7 times 3.14 is 275.37. So width, 275.37. 275.37 millimeters. Boom. Okay, so here are our rectangles. So this is for the smaller one right here. Okay, so the height is the height of the usable area on the cup, and the width is the diameter times pi. Same thing here. Height of the usable area on the larger cup, width is diameter times pi. Really straightforward. So we've got 2 boxes now that we can drop our graphics into to make sure they're going to fit in the area on the cup that we want them to fit. But before we continue this and open up his files and stuff, I have to spray these. And I actually, sucks, I need a new duct fan, or a new fan duct, rather. I used to wrap my, you can see my fiber laser exhaust comes out and then sits between the fiber and the Galvo CO2. But I used to wrap it all the way down to my sink down there, and I would exhaust the Brilliance fumes while I was spraying it. But it doesn't reach anymore because I shortened all my tubes up. So what I really need to do is like add a 3rd fan and then run a really long line down there just for exhausting sprays. I'm not doing that right now. I'm just going to get these sprayed. So give me 2 seconds to spray these, and I'll be right back. I'm just using regular Brilliance laser ink right here. If you need some, go look up one of my episodes where we use Brilliance laser ink and use the affiliate link because it helps support the show. But this is good stuff, and it's like half the price of Ceramark. Works fine. pretty even. Not great, but good enough. You're supposed to just put the finest coating on this, and I have a really hard time doing that. Not like technically, just like mentally. I just like don't, like I feel like it's not enough, and then I just always put on too much. Alright, so those are there. They're drying. I should probably... I would be stupid not to... give me 1 second, guys. Since we're using it, you can never pass up an opportunity. Alright, here we go. Get Brilliance. All right, there we go. I've updated the description with an affiliate link. So if you need some Brilliance laser ink, you can purchase it from the affiliate link. Thank you for supporting the show. Okay, anyway, so we need to get our artwork into Illustrator. So let me open this guy's file. Let me just dig through his files real quick. I know exactly where his folder is, no searching around. I think it's this one. Let's open it. Nope, that's not it. It's a cool file though. This one. Yes. Alright, so here's our artwork. We should grab this whole thing. And we'll bring it into our preset. So as you can see, this is like perfectly sized to fill like the entire bottle edge to edge. If you'd imagined we'd used more of the height of the cup. But since we're not, we have to scale this down a bit. And it's not going to wrap all the way around the cup. On the original cups that we did for him, the cups were straight all the way down. So this wrapped all the way around the cup, which we will not be doing this time. And it's going to have to be a little smaller on the small cup. You'll notice I'm leaving just a little bit of room at the top and the bottom. That's just for me, for my safety, right? Like kind of a safety net space so that we don't go over. And with that done, we don't need our outlines anymore because everything is sized appropriately. I do want to just unite these. I don't trust my old work. So I'm going to select each one and just unite them. Just make sure we don't have any weird overlaps or anything like that. And then we'll save this. Desktop's fine. We'll call it like, I don't know, sloped. And we'll save it as a version 8. And that's that. Now we can go ahead and open up Lightburn. It's a project I was working on earlier. These tiny little letters came out so good. I was so happy with my mirror alignment. That's how you can really tell that you have good mirror alignment. These thin little letters came out like crystal clear. This all came out like perfectly. I was really stoked on that. But that's neither here nor there. Start a new file. Let's go to import. Let's bring in, we gotta go to, nope, desktop, and there we go. Alright, we only need to do one of these. We'll start with the smaller one. That one's probably going to be done drying first. Set it to blue for engrave. The mouth of the bottle is going to be to the right. So I want to make sure that the top of this graphic is facing to the right. And we're gonna just draw a quick. I say this every stream. Who's sick of me saying it? You don't need to make these spacers. I need to make these spacers because there's something wrong with my machine and I don't know what it is. And this is the workaround. So just ignore this for a minute. But as usual, we want to make sure that our things are in the right order. So yellow first, then blue, then turquoise. And then up here, yellow first, then blue, then turquoise. We're going to start this from the center. We need to make sure blue is set to our Brilliance laser ink settings. So that's down here in steel bottles, no thickness, Brilliance, and we'll assign. That looks good. Let's double check our LD is 600, perfect. And I think that's it. Oh, last but not least, let's come to the rotary setup. We know our part diameter is 87.5, so we'll pop that in there. We're going to enable rotary, and we should be good to go. So we'll hit OK here, and we'll shoot this over to the CO2. All right, so that's sent over. So with all of that done, we're going to need our rotary tool. Let me go get that. I'm going to use some non-coated ones to set this up so we don't make a big mess. I don't want this covered in Brilliance. So if we just kind of pop that on there, you can see the back end's off. It doesn't fit, so it's going to need some adjusting. So we'll loosen these up. And we'll bring those closer. They don't need to be way closer. It was just barely not fitting, so an additional inch should put us into a good position here. Okay, that's good. Not really level though, so let's raise our back end. That looks much better. And then last but not least, we simply need our clamp. Which I have over here. You guys are quiet today. We usually get distracted by now. And there we go. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can move these. We don't need them. This can go in the machine. We should probably set up the laser cam. It's in episode production mode. Just started 25 tumblers for a cooking school. Very nice. That sounds badass. Alright, there's that. This is the little like phone grabber that I use when I'm actually making episodes for the show. Speaking of episodes of the show, this isn't going to be the longest Friday live day ever, and it's because I need to go shoot an episode of the show. because we didn't have a real episode upload today. We had kind of like a cheesy fake one where because somebody asked me how to import the Lightburn library files, and I've explained it like 800 times. So I just was like, I need to make a video on this. So I made a super fast video. There's no intro, there's no outro, there's no nothing. It's just like a super bare bones, just here's how you import the library. So I uploaded that this morning. I was just going to upload it unlisted and just send it to the guy who was asking the question, but I figured I should just make it public so everybody could watch it. But I have a plan for like a real episode today. I haven't had a chance to shoot it. So we're gonna end a little early today. When we're done with stuff, not right now, but a little earlier than we normally would go. We'd normally go way later, so that I can actually like shoot that and get it out. It's not a complicated episode, but it's cool, and it seems like it's going to be fun. So I want to work on that for a little bit today. Jerry says, made it to a Friday live day. Jerry. Been spreading the word of your channel and the help everyone does. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for that. I'm really excited to hear about it. That's really, really helpful, dude. So thank you. Dean says, I'm storing all these CO2 vids for my CO2 plan. Very helpful. You got it, Dean. And I think we're caught up on chat. Okay. Laser cam. Ready to go. I'd also like to just quickly mention, more than officially more than half of our Patreon members have switched over to the new Laser Master Academy. So if you are a patron and you haven't switched yet, please do so, because November's Patreon's going to start charging people for November soon, and I don't want you to get double charged. So cancel your Patreon membership and go sign up over at masters.lasereverything.net instead. And of course, if you haven't already signed up for the Laser Master Academy, go do that. But this is a warning to people who already have signed up for the Patreon. Please switch. Now is the time to switch. You've only got a couple days left until Patreon starts charging for November. So make sure you cancel and get switched over. Patrick's here. What's up, Patrick? Clave says, new to the channel. Thanks for doing what you do. You are welcome, Clave. I'm glad to be here and hang out. All right, so we need to switch over to the CO2 view. Here we are, boom. I need to turn the machine off, switch my stepper motors over to low power mode, and then we're gonna refocus things. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of boring, but we have to do it. So I'm just gonna get it done. I know you guys are always asking me, like, what is the stepper motor thing? I'll show you real quick. I never show this. I really need to just do a video on it, but behind Baby Yoda, let's see if I can do this. I turn the screen so I can see what I'm pointing at. Okay, so here's that is my X stepper motor. We don't want to touch that. There's my Y stepper motor right there. Can you see it? So inherently, this stepper motor is putting out too many amps this stepper controller is putting out too many amps for the stepper motor that is on my rotary tool. So we have to turn the machine off. So we're going to shut it down. And yours will be different. You have to read on the side of this. Can you see a little chart? It's hard to see because it's dark, but there's a little chart right here that tells you which switches put out how many amps. And this needs to deliver the number of amps that your stepper motor needs. So I know on mine that I need to flip this switch on and this switch on like that. And now my stepper motor is going to receive less amps from the controller, which is what we need. So I need to switch that back and forth every time. There's ways around that. People talk about it on the Discord. We don't have a video on it, but this is what I do every time right now. It's not that hard. It only takes a couple seconds. I don't really mind doing it all that much. So this is what I say when I'm saying I'm switching my controller switches. This is what we're doing. All right. Just wanted to cover that because I feel like we've never really talked about that before. So now that that's done, the file that we've sent over for the Lamborghini was set to rotary mode, and the machine is off. So when we turn it back on, the machine should be in rotary mode. So we'll turn this on. Oh, nope. Actually, we're going to keep that off for a minute. We forgot to plug in our rotary tool. Let me find the plug for that. Sorry, there's so many wires in this place, I can't keep track of anything. Okay, found it. So the same thing, I guess we'll continue our deep dive. So if you guys look over here, no, hold on. All right, so in there, that is the connector for my y-axis gantry. Okay, and we're replacing this with our rotary tool. That's why the gantry won't move up and down when the rotary's plugged in. So we'll unplug that. Plug the one for our stepper motor for our rotary tool in. So now our rotary tool is going to receive the y-axis commands from the machine. We trace the wire back to our stepper. We plug the stepper in, just like that. And now we are ready to get some work done. So because we've unplugged the y-axis, sorry, like I said, there's too many wires in here. Let me just, okay. Because we've unplugged the y-axis, that nozzle is not going to move up and down when we turn it on. Here we go, we're turning on, and you can see no longer moving up and down. The up and down buttons are turning the wheels of the rotary. Nothing else. That's what we want. So that's how you know you have that set up correctly. So we can move this over, physically pull it down with our hand so it's about where it needs to be. And lower our bed so we can actually fit our mug in there. Sorry for the detail. I've never explained this on stream before, so I wanted to make sure that we do it at least once. I'd like to do more videos on this topic, but it's just time consuming, and usually when I'm doing a project with the rotary, I really just want to get it done because they're a pain in the butt. But we're just lowering the bed here. Be done in a second. It's live. Alright, that should be more than enough space to get our Brilliance laser ink mugs into the machine. We're all set up for the small one. So we've got our small one here. Nice even coat, right? Some drip marks down there, but those are down at the bottom, not where we're working, so I'm not really worried about it. We're going to get this into the machine. Ah, shit. See, so, oh god, I did it again. So I just banged into a bunch of stuff. And now there's, see those dots? Like, those dots aren't going to mark. I think there's another mark on it somewhere. I'll just give it one more kiss with the can. Hold on. Alright, got that all touched up. Let's be a little more careful. Alright, we're too close to the nozzle. So what we're going to do to remedy this situation, I'm not going to spray it while it's in the machine. But I am going to rotate that mark to the back of the mug. So I'm just going to hit the down button, and we'll just rotate this 180 degrees. Because we know our mug doesn't take up the full width of the, or our graphic doesn't take up the full width of the mug. So if we put that on the back, it should be fine. it in the file. We'll give it a quick frame. Alright, that's not great. I don't think we're lined up. So let's get the beam over here and just straighten this. Use the stepper motor on this end. And I use this little hole in our rotary tool on this end. It's kind of dim, can't really see it. There it is. Alright, way off. Let's fix that. Should be fixed. Alright, I'm still not super stoked on this. I think it's too big. So let's just take it down in size a little bit because it's coming up too far on the cup. And it's going to hit those areas where the wheels are taking off that Brilliance laser ink, which is not good because we don't want the laser to hit anywhere there isn't Brilliance. So I've made it a little bit smaller. Let me just reposition this here. So you can see this ring right here where the Brilliance isn't sticking. That's because it's rubbing off on the stupid wheels. So let's just, again, origin frame. That's not... I hate this fucking thing. Let me spray it again. It needs to be sprayed again. In fact, I'm just going to set that one aside and spray a whole new one. Alright, got a new one sprayed, sitting there. Let's see what we can do with this in the meantime. We gotta wait for that to dry. Let's see if we can figure out why this is moving. We don't want it, it's moving up and down, and we don't want that. You can see down here on the wheels, it's obnoxious. Make sure things are aligned. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one will probably come up a touch. If things aren't perfectly straight, it's not going to rotate straight. The big problem with these rotary tools are these stupid things in the back here. They move independently of one another, and they don't move evenly. So if you move one all the way down and one stays up, it's going to rotate at an angle. You can do your best to loosen them and retighten them where you want them to go, but it rarely works. That did better. It's basically screwing. It's screwing on and screwing off. Maybe I was gonna say maybe remove the pressure wheel, but rather than do that, it's a little extreme. I think if we just try to lower this back end a little bit. Somehow it's worse. Very frustrating. Okay, that seems better. That's moving a lot less. Yeah, the pie burn sounds nice. Maybe someday. I hate this thing. Unfortunately, this is what we have to use right now, so... Alright, that should be pretty good. If we can get our new one in there. Let me grab the new one. Alright, let's try not to mess this up. Alright, everything's on. The air assist is going to help that dry. So we're just going to give that one more second to dry.
I
Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, we had a customer. But it's 5:19 now. I think there's one more guy coming to pick something up. But, I'm not sure what time he's coming, so only one more interruption tonight, and then we should be good to go. I left this, like, right on a cliffhanger, didn't I? We were just about to run this. I don't even really want to frame it. I just kind of want to run it, so I'm just going to run it. Alright, quick eyeball adjustment there of the nozzle right before we run. I'm just going. We're just going for it. Since we're not wrapping all the way around the bottle, my hope is by not framing it, we can actually mark a little higher up on the tumbler without actually, like, having interference from those wheel marks. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. What's up to all 29 of you guys watching live? Don't forget to smash the like button because it boosts engagement and it helps new people find the channel. So definitely do that. When the stream is over, don't forget to... When the stream is over, don't forget to leave a comment as well. Yeah, he was very, very stoked. He wanted to chat. Yeah, no, this rotary tool is a piece of shit. I hate it. Thirty-two people watching, and we're doing a CO2 job. Imagine. I think this might be a laser everything record. But hello to everybody potentially joining us for the first time. Let me see if we haven't done this in a while. There we go. I can share. The laser can share the limelight with me here. I think a little bit.
I found a few locations for beds.
Oh shit, dude. Google Home just scared the fucking shit out of me. Oh my god.
Penfield Road, Penfield. The second one.
God damn. That literally just, like, I almost pissed myself. I think it's time for some M&Ms. It's an M&M day. I'm just gonna have a little Brilliance laser ink in my mouth with my M&Ms. No big deal. Maybe we need like a soda, like a Mountain Dew. I'm so hungry, and I have 2 slices of pizza in there, but they're from Monday. Also, I bought a deluxe chicken sandwich from McDonald's earlier, but it's been sitting out for like 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure I can't eat that, so soda and candy it is. Oh man, that's looking so good. I love Brilliance, dude. It works just as well as Ceramark, and it's literally half the price. I think I have a coupon code for it. I don't know. I don't push my affiliate partner stuff as much as I should because I don't like selling things. I'm not a salesman. I'm pretty sure they give me a coupon code to give to people. Let me see. I do. It's for 10% off. LE 2021. There you go. if you need it. Like I said, I'm not a very good salesman, so I don't like pushing my affiliates very often, but this is a product I actually believe in. Ken Robertson is running a rotary job now too. That's dope. I'm not worried about it rotting, I'm worried about the chicken. It was a chicken sandwich. And it wasn't like a McChicken either. It wasn't like a blended chicken, like a chicken nugget chicken. It was like a solid piece of chicken. My baby's being born in a couple days. I can't get like salmonella right now. Getting some messages in here on the Laser Master Academy. Oh my god. Okay, calm down. All right. That was David telling me there was a PyBurn affiliate program, which I'm already signed up for, but I haven't bought a PyBurn yet. So I'm not going to recommend it to people and sell it using their affiliate link if I haven't bought it myself. How long does this usually take? I only run these at 600 DPI. It's taking longer than it probably has to, but I like how they come out at 600 DPI much better. So, I don't know. I'd say it's like halfway done right now. Maybe. A little less. A third of the way done. This one will probably take like 18 minutes. If you have a rotary job with a thinner neck than body, do you normally tweak the steps down to account for it? If I'm really concerned about a slope on the curve of a tumbler, really concerned, I'll wrap the tumbler in blue masking tape and I'll run it with the masking tape only setting, which I can show you. It's right in here. This of course is on my 100-watt laser, but it's 500 speed, 8 power. And this is just enough power to just mark the blue tape without burning it away. This is a great setting for making sure that things are, you know, not squished or skewed or whatever, due to like the, you know, diameter differences. So I would usually do like the blue tape method is how I handle that. And then, yeah, you could like stretch or skew or adjust your steps or whatever to compensate for that until you get it right. Wendy says, I only have the fiber, so I've never got to watch one of these run. Oh. Yeah, it's okay. What I really want to do is get the CO2 Galvo doing this kind of work, because it'll go a lot faster. But it's going to take a lot of dialing in. I haven't done any Brilliance laser ink work on the CO2 Galvo before, so I'm not sure what kind of settings that's going to require, or if it will even work with a pulsed CO2 laser. This is a continuous wave laser. They act a little different. This was a water bottle. The circumference is different by like 100 millimeters. Damn. Yeah, I mean, you could always take an average. You know, you could take an average. But like I said, I would still test with the blue tape. Is probably the best way to test. When using the gantry, would you be able to adjust the length of the passes in the shorter areas of your design to increase or to decrease the engrave time? Yeah, it's called acceleration. That's taking this distance from here to here where it's over swinging and shortening that up so that it's speeding up faster and slowing down faster, but it messes with your accuracy. You don't get as good of lines, and I'm okay with taking a lot longer on my engraving. Everybody's concerned about getting speed down. They want speed. I have no problem letting this run for 18 minutes. I have no problem letting 20 of these run for 18 minutes to get nice super clean, super smooth edges. So, you know, I don't know. It depends on where your priorities are at. But yeah, you could just jack the acceleration up. You could set the acceleration 200 times higher than it's set right now. And it would just go like bounce back and forth like super, super quick. But there's consequences for that in the final design. And that bothers some people and it doesn't bother others. So it just depends on, you know, again, where your priorities are at, what your threshold for quality is. Steam's here. What's up, Steam? Good to see you. Canyon says quality, not quantity, if you want an impeccable rep. Yeah, that's true. Though it's best to have both, but I don't use the gantry for much else anyway, so if it has to sit here all day and run these bottles, that's fine. I can set it up. We can run the bottles. I'll spray all of the bottles in advance. Then we'll just set it up. I'll sit down, do work, do channel stuff or whatever. I can just sit there and run in the background. I don't care how long it takes. If it takes 2 full days to get through 18 bottles, I don't care, because it doesn't require me actively managing it. So it can sit over there, and I'm okay with that. What's up, Manzi? We're just trying out a little Brilliance laser ink. We're about halfway done with this sample bottle for this customer. Hopefully the hood of this Lambo fits into our designated height on this cup. I don't know if it's going to fit. I'm hoping it fits. It does look nice and dark, but it always looks nice and dark. You never know if this works until you rinse it. You have to rinse it. This is not a good, you know, you can't determine the darkness of Brilliance or Ceramark or anything else based on what you see out of the laser. You have to wash it first. Yeah, just a rinse. Just rinse it. Literally, like rinse it and like gently just rinse it away. No scrubbing, no nothing. Though you can scrub it if you want to. The Brilliance isn't going to come off. If you do it right, it's never going to come off. The bond is really strong. But, you know, why scrub it if you don't have to? Nice quick rinse. Comes right off. Affiliate link in the description. There we go. I said it. I hate selling shit. I don't even like telling people to sign up for the Laser Master Academy. It really bothers me. I have to sit here and force myself to do it. J-Mac will do it. I know you will, bro. Thanks, buddy. We're making our way. It's going. I'm watching on the screen too. I'm not actually watching in the machine. The machine's way over here. I'd be sitting like this. I'm watching the monitor on OBS. I tried this spray from your vid crap. It's black. I couldn't ever get it black. Maybe a light gray. Question, is it supposed to be engraved deep, or is it a light mark and still able to get? It's not supposed to be engraved deep at all. Brilliance is for surface marking only. The action by which this works is that you are heating the Brilliance laser ink up to a point where it gets hot enough to bond to the steel. If you throw too much power at it, you're just gonna burn it off. You're gonna ablate the spray away. And then it's not gonna, you know, a little bit will stick, but not a lot of it. If you don't do enough power, it's not gonna bond and it's gonna wash away. So it's gotta be enough power that it bonds, but not so much power that you're just blasting it off of the cup. And that's kind of the balancing act. The settings that I use in my videos are for my 100 watt machine. your settings might be different. I believe they have setting suggestions based on laser wattage on their website. But it definitely, you know, I did a cup. Let me go get it. I'll show you how much work it took to get this looking like this, because I did not just like roll out of bed and just have perfect Brilliance settings. Let me go get I have my original test cup. I'm gonna go get it. It's really sad, but I think I threw it away. But seriously, like it would. You've seen test grids. You know how test grids work. I ran rotary test grids, so it would rotate, mark a square, then rotate back, rotate, mark another square, then rotate back, rotate, mark another square, then rotate back, rotate, mark another square, and I kept doing that hours on this bottle. Tons of tests, tons and tons of tests, different speeds, different powers, different resolutions, 300 DPI versus 600 DPI, big difference. I'm very irritated that my original Yeti is gone. I've been holding on to it for such a long time, and I actually have someone to show it to now, and I don't know where it is. I'm not gonna waste too much time looking for it, but yeah, they're hard to dial in, man. It's a practice thing. Yeah, fiber's really hard. Fiber's really, really hard to get. You know, the video we did for aluminum is a starting point, but it really comes down to how hot the metal gets. It's not about heating the Brilliance, it's about heating the metal under the Brilliance. And so on stuff like aluminum and copper, you're gonna have a much harder time marking it with Brilliance because it dissipates heat so quickly. Things like steel are much easier because they keep the heat, they hold the heat in. So test patterns for sure. Test patterns for sure. My settings from the channel are like a decent starting point, but definitely want to run some test patterns. Christian says, I noticed on one of your powder coat videos that you clean powder coat residue off with rubbing alcohol and magic eraser. Yep, I sure do. Have you ever tried Awesome Spray from the dollar store? It melts off almost no scrub. I have not tried Awesome Spray. I should look at that. Is it literally called Awesome Spray? I've never heard of that. Manzi says, I got good news about our other business. We got invited back to one of the bars. We host karaoke. We're doing a Halloween bash at the end of the month. Hooray! That's amazing. Halloween's the best holiday of the year. Can't change my mind. That's awesome news, dude. Congrats. Sam says, do you think it's possible to have a CO2 gantry setup with multiple rotaries so when one job is completed, the gantry moves on to the others? Yes. I think if your rotary supports it, hold on. Let me look up something real quick. So I'm not an expert in this, Sam. So don't quote me on it, but I believe I'm looking for something specific. Hold on. Now, of course, I can't find the picture, but I believe like some rotaries, like the Pyburn, for example, can be daisy chained somehow. I don't understand anything about it, but I'm pretty sure that it's possible. I can't find the picture now. I was going to show you the picture, but I'm pretty sure you can like daisy chain them together, and it takes some kind of special programming that I don't understand. It's over my head. LA's totally awesome. Interesting. I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. I might be pulling that out of my ass, too. I'm not sure. I might just be, like, totally making that up. I don't think our cup has moved. I think our cup moved a lot more in our initial frame than it's actually moving in, like, use rotation, which is good. Mike McKenzie seconds the awesome cleaner. I use it to clean my blade bed and honeycomb. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I will check it out. The actual body of the car is a lot lower than I thought it would be, but it still looks okay so far. I've never had 30 people watching the stream at once. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Smash it. Smash it so hard. It gets more people in front of the channel. Spread the good word, boys and girls. We're nearly done now. We're right coming up on the end. Then we'll do the big one next, and then we'll put all this shit away. I'll take my pictures, I'll send them to the client. We'll put all this shit away, and we'll start setting up the CO2 Galvo jig for the 2,400 pigtail flippers. That'll be the next thing we do. Thank you. I see those likes rolling in. I see that. Thank you, thank you. Ooh, shot right up to 20 likes. That's what I like seeing. Last Friday Liveday. Last Friday Liveday, we ended with more likes than active viewers, which was pretty crazy. Like, not by a little, I mean like by a lot. There was like 55 likes on it by the time the stream ended, which was pretty badass. Oh, we got a couple new members on the Laser Master Academy. Special shout out to Jan Jensen and Tara Harris. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. Always great to have new Academy members. Oh my God, come on, you can do it. If this doesn't come out, I'm gonna be embarrassed. It looks good though, it's looking promising. This is what you want it to look like. You can tell it's not too much power, because when you throw too much power at this, it will literally start to flake away around the engraving area. Like the non-marked areas will start to like flake off because they become like affected by a heat affected zone, which we're not getting here. This is very clean. I think we're into our second spacer. it is. There's the before. It's a little blurry. I'll show you guys on the nice camera in a minute. Oh yeah, look at that. Pretty good. That's looking pretty good. So now we just need to go wash it. Alright, Dean. See you later, bro. Good to see you. So let me go wash this. I'll be right back. Came out perfect. Turn the fans off so I can hear myself think. God damn. Yeah, this came out perfect. No problem with this whatsoever. I may get a heart, but you got the wrench. She looks good. There's the car. Getting some kind of... It's reflecting a little weird. It's black as night, though. Which looks pretty good. It's not really reflecting right, but... I think I'm just too close to the lights, the house lights, but super clean. Works really well. So that's it. So now that we know that that's good, we have to do the larger one, which sucks, but here we are. So I believe for this one we had a height of 100 millimeters. We ended up shaving, it was 87 high for the small one, and we ended up at 77, so we shaved about 10 millimeters off the height in order to get it to fit. I'm going to do that again. The last height we did was 90 for the big one, or 100 for the big one, so we're going to do it today at 90. Which I'm just here, right? I'm taking this from, we had our large was at 100. So I'm just taking that 100 down to 90. I'm assuming we're going to have to shave about 10 millimeters off again. So we're going to start at 90 and see how that goes. Hopefully we can do this without messing up and wasting a bunch of spray. So I'm just going to send the same file over. Countach 3. And then over here on the CO2. Brilliance does work on fiber, yes. But it's more difficult to use on fiber. It's not really designed for fiber. It happens to work on fiber. But I think it's kind of cheating. Like, you're not supposed to use it on fiber. But we use it. We have one that's called How to Get a Black Mark on Aluminum, in which we use Brilliance laser ink on a fiber laser to get a black mark on aluminum. So it works. It's doable. Definitely doable. I'm lowering the bed down a little bit just to make sure that we can fit our large cup in. Well, that worked out well. Check the focus. The way I check focus on these, because I don't want to touch the Brilliance with the focus tool, is I actually go down further than I have to, and I bring it up until I'm about a turn away from the tool, and then I pull the tool, and we turn up right to where it should be. We'll load in our new file. We'll give it a quick frame. It's like we're just getting away with it. We're a touch high. That should be good, and I'm not going to waste any time. We don't want to mess it up. We already know that it's working. So we're just going to run it. Just going to run this one too. It slid back. I don't know if you guys caught my little maneuver there, but it actually slid back away from the stepper motor. So I pushed it back forward again after it had done its spin. Thanks for sharing that link, J-Mac. I appreciate it. And there we go. Alright, I took a quick video of the smaller cup, which I'm going to send to the customer. I'll be right back. I'll be right back on screen, guys. I'm just downloading this video file so that I can send it to the client. We've sent that away. All right. Out of focus, feel out of focus. This one feels like it's going faster. Oops. I messed up. I messed up big time. So, look at this. So you'll see here that we're simply just removing the Brilliance, and it's not actually bonding. The reason this is happening is because I set that blue to the blue tape marking setting by accident when I was talking about that. We never set it back to Brilliance. My bad. So let's go ahead and set that. We gotta cancel our job. Luckily we can just spin the cup 180 and we should be able to run it again. So let's send that back over. And we'll pop back over to CO2. I knew something didn't look right. Something did not look right. I'm glad we caught that before it ran all the way. I would have been upset. Yeah, the tank is forgiving, especially with tumblers. Whew. All right, there we go. Much better. It looked black in the screen. That's why I didn't notice, because it looked black on the screen. Because the reflection is reflecting the black interior of the laser. So I didn't notice at first that it wasn't working. But we should be good now. Hands are dry. I'm excited to get these pigtail flippers set up. Excuse me. That'll be fun. We have some critical thinking to do for sure. I'm already kind of churning ideas in my head. I think it might be good if we take... I've got a bunch of acrylic over here. We might be able to create a box out of acrylic and then cut a hole in the box. That way we can put the part in and up under the hole and hold it there and mark it and then pull it down. If we can get our runtime low enough to actually sit there and hold it, so we don't have to place every single one in. I'm thinking. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like it's coming out good. What are you guys working on today? Anybody else in their shop right now working on a job? Let me know what you guys got going on. I haven't done this in a while, but I'll pop these bad boys up. There we go. Okay. Hi. Yeah. Feet up. We put our feet up while we're making money. Mitchell says, just made a beer glass for my friend's birthday tonight. Happy birthday to your friend. That's exciting. I was just making some custom Christmas baubles on the tank, doing it on black slate. Interesting. Did you post photos of that to the Discord already? 10 tumblers, 5 designs. Nice, Ken, nice. David's working on a couple pews. Very cool. I did some pews earlier today. I did a scar and I did an AUG. And I've got 10 AK flats in a box over there I need to do at some point. Probably Monday. J-Mac's gonna post his Christmas baubles to Discord at me so I get the notification so I can pull it up. Still just like not quite in focus. Is that worse? That's worse. I swear to God, I need a camera. I need a camera with autofocus. There we go. We'll wait for J-Mac's ping on Discord and then we'll check out what he's doing. Send a picture. Send me pictures. I will share them with everybody if you send a picture to the Discord. And tag me in it during a live stream. Jerry's still at work, milling down a warped exhaust manifold. Ugh. Listening on Bluetooth earmuffs, enjoying the content. That's awesome, Jerry. I'm glad you're having fun hanging out. That's why we're here. I think it's going to be time for a new camera soon, guys. I hate this camera. I never feel like, even when I'm just like as sharp as I could possibly be, I never feel like I'm actually in focus. That and a new computer. I can't do half of the things I want to do. One of the things that I really want to do is multitask. And my computer just like cannot do it. Like it will not run EasyCAD and Lightburn and OBS all at the same time. If I could, we would be already setting up the CO2 Galvo job, but the computer just like will not do it. It's like so hot right now. It's like burn your hands hot on my laptop. Mitchell says, is this a new camera? No, I haven't. That's my wish list. I want to buy a new camera. This is still the Canon 5D Mark II that I bought on eBay for like $300. It's good enough, but it's not great. What's up, Don? How you doing? Yeah, the camera and the computer really have to be updated at the same time. If I get a new camera, you guys aren't going to notice because I can't up the resolution on the computer or anything either, because that'll crash OBS too. Because this computer has like 4 megabytes of RAM. Don, you're looking to buy a fiber laser. That's cool. That's good. Good, good. Pick one up. I don't think you'll regret it. A 50 watt? Okay, cool. That sounds good. Tell you something about buying a laser? What do you want? What do you want it to do? What do you want it for? What's your use case? Or are you following that tell me something up with a question? What's the difference from UV laser? You mean between UV and fiber? Fiber lasers are designed for engraving metal. Fiber lasers are designed for engraving metal, not marking metal, though they do mark metal. They're designed for engraving metal. So if you want to remove metal from something and actually have depth to it, you want to engrave that material, that's what the fiber's for. Between UV and diode, diode uses a visible spectrum light and is designed for engraving organics like a CO2, like the one that we're using right now. So diode is for wood, leather, acrylic you can get away with. They might do glass. I don't know if they actually do glass or not. They might do some glass. Canvas, tile, things like that. UV lasers can mark pretty much everything, but they can't really do engraving. But UV lasers excel on plastics and glass. So if you want to do plastics and glass, UV is the way to go. If you want to do wood, leather, that kind of stuff, the diode is the way to go. They're vastly different prices. Diode lasers are $300 to $500 from like Rotary if you want to get like a good one. UV lasers are $7,000 to $9,000 depending on where you're shopping. So, you know, the huge disparity in price there. I mean, very, very different cost, you know, barrier to entry, right? You could just kind of close your eyes and sneeze and pick up a diode laser. You have 130 watt CO2, then you don't need a diode. There's no reason for you to get a diode laser unless you specifically want one for some reason. And a CNC machine. Yeah, so I don't know what you would use a diode for if you have a CO2 already. The CO2 is usually where people upgrade from after they get a diode. So most people get the diode first, they play with it, then they're like, I like lasers, but I want something more powerful, and they get a CO2. They work on the same range of things. You could, yeah, sure, you could get a diode attachment for a CNC if you really wanted one for some reason. But if you're like trying to decide between a diode laser and a UV laser, there's no contest. I mean, they're not really comparable. They do completely different things. Different tools for different jobs. Yeah, that's a great plan, Don. That's a really, really good plan. We call it the Holy Trinity around here. So you have your 10,600 nanometer, that's your CO2. That's great for organics. That covers you on wood, glass, acrylic, leather, right? 10,600 CO2. Then in the middle, you've got your 1064. That's your fiber. Every metal from tin to titanium. That's your metal boss, right? That covers all of your inorganics. Steel, aluminum, copper, brass, tin, pewter, boom, fiber, 1064. Then on the UV end, you have the 355 nanometer. That covers glass and plastics. So then your synthetics, right? So you've got your organics, your inorganics, and your plastics. If you have all three of those, there's not really anything left in the entire world that you can't mark with a laser. If you get one of each, you've got full spectrum coverage on literally every material. So we call that the Holy Trinity. You get all three. You get your 10,600, your 1064, your 355. You're set. You can do everything. So that's, you know, that's the goal. That's what we all want. Yeah, I mean, you can make a business just out of having a CO2. A lot of guys that watch the channel just make a business out of just having a fiber. So I wouldn't limit yourself. I mean, you could start your business right now. You know, you can start your business right this second, and then kind of add to your abilities as your business grows. I'm getting my UV from Mactron, Bo. Same place I get everything, and it's the 5-watt Ingu laser source. Really dope. Alright. We got some Discord stuff. I told people that we would show their stuff on Discord if they tagged me in it. And we have a couple tags. So let's look at fiber show and tell. We've got, let me move this out of the way. We've got something from Manzi right here. Aluminum sheet metal sign I made with my fiber. Not jet black, but nice and dark. Very dark, dude. That's awesome. Did you use the .002 for that? Because that looks great. Really good mark, dude. Really, really good. And then we've got one over here, I'm assuming from JMac. Xmas baubles. I don't even know what a bauble is. Oh, an ornament. It's called an ornament, bro. That's some Scottish shit right there. Those are really cool, dude. Those are really, really awesome. That looks super nice. Look at that. Great job. Nice work, man. Alex says, I am looking forward to seeing the UV and how fast a 5-watt is. Yeah, they should be pretty fast, dude. Anything, what I've been told is that anything over 5 watts is only useful for cutting silicon wafer. So if you for some reason feel the need to be able to cut silicon wafer with a galvo laser, get a 10 watt or a 15 watt UV. Otherwise, 5 watts should be fine. Everything I've heard says 5 watts should be fine for all marking purposes for UV lasers. Oscar Mike says, know anybody familiar with Adobe Illustrator that might be willing to answer some questions I have, willing to pay or do Cerakote work in exchange for services course? I mean, we have an intro course here on the channel. It's called Artwork for Engravers, I think, which you can find on like the main channel page. But if you're looking for more advanced help, you can always drop questions in the Illustrator channel on the Discord. Link in the description if you're not already on the Discord. So that could be cool. But outside of that, I don't have like a specific name off the top of my head to give you. But you know, we're all here to help you if you need help, man. A 3D UV? What are you gonna do with a 3D UV laser? I mean, that's dope, dude, but what are you gonna do with it? Not use a rotary? That's fair. That's fair. I asked Mactron to include EasyCAD 3 with my UV laser, so we will finally have EasyCAD 3 tutorials going on here. It won't be EasyCAD 3 for fiber, but it'll be EasyCAD 3, so we can actually start to cover EasyCAD 3 topics on the channel, which I'm really excited about. So even if you have a fiber that uses EasyCAD 3, you'll be able to watch the UV tutorials. Hopefully you guys will learn a little something about EasyCAD 3 on that journey. So it's official. We do have EasyCAD 3 coming to the channel. We're going to start to be able to cover that. A couple of you still haven't smashed the like button, I've noticed. Have you all signed up to the, you all signed up for, the Laser Master Academy yet? Because if you haven't, you should. Some good stuff on there. It's only going to get bigger. I know Alex Campbell's on there. I know Sam's on there. I know J-Mac is there. Nice, Don. Do it. Boom. I think Mitchell's on it. Mitchell, you're an Academy member, right? Desktop lathes. I think you only hit it once, bro. I think if you smash it twice, you unsmash it. We're almost done, guys. It's almost finished. Then we can do something more fun. We're nearly done. Yeah, unsmash it. Don't unsmash it. Don't do that. Hey, look, we did it though. We have more likes than current viewers. Oh, they're even. 29 and 29. Walid, what's up, Walid? Hey, I watched your videos and you helped me with my jewelry engraving, so thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching my videos, so thank you. We're glad to have you as part of the community, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. My legs are going numb from being up on the desk. Oh, God. It's the price of being old and lazy. My blood flow is not what it used to be. I appreciate the enthusiasm, Jerry. You're a little delayed, but I'm glad you're here for it. I'd venture to say we're 79% finished. Oh, shit. Oh, God, my fucking heart. I think my heart just stopped. Oh. How do I download the AI file you sent me back? Just click it. Literally, like, click on it. And it should open a new tab and download. It should. I might have to zip it. I was having problems downloading AI files from the Academy website earlier. I might have to zip it up into a zip folder for you to download. Walid says, I have a workstation. Do you think it can do wood engraving? What kind of wood? What kind of workstation? Like a fiber laser or a CO2 or what do you got going on? Let me know what you're working with and I'll let you know if we can do wood. A fiber? Do you know what kind of laser source you have? If you really want to do wood well with excuse me. If you really want to do wood well with a fiber, your frequency needs to be pretty high. You know, I've had the best luck between like 150 and 200 kilohertz frequency. But no matter what laser you're using, you want that frequency up as high as it'll go. And then it's pretty slow and a good chunk of power. The fibers are not designed for wood. That said, you can kind of get away with it. I believe we have a live stream on the topic in the Laser Master Academy. So you could sign up for that and go watch that if you want, but there's not a ton in there. We get a good mark. We go through the whole process. I think we do it on Pine. There's not a lot of information in there that I didn't just give you, but you might find it helpful to watch the video if you're not already signed up. I believe that is an Academy live stream where we did wood on the fiber. So that could help you. But yeah, high frequency. Get that frequency up as high as it'll go. And work with it that way. It's a balancing act between doing nothing at all and like just setting the wood on fire. You're like, so 80. You could probably still get it at 80. I know, I think our Academy parameter files, I think we have a 200 kilohertz setting and I think we have a 25 kilohertz setting. So 80 should be able to do something decent. It might not be perfect, but you should be able to do something. But yeah, it's just a balancing act between like doing nothing at all and burning the shit out of it. It really depends on the density of the wood. Has a lot to do with the quality of the mark that you're gonna get. So, you know, every wood's gonna respond differently, but just know when you're using a fiber to engrave wood, you're bending the rules. You shouldn't be using a fiber to engrave wood, so you gotta kind of realize that you're bending the rules a little bit, and kind of proceed with that in mind, as far as just, you know, limiting your expectations. The last little bit here. I'm so ready for this to be over. I'm so tired of looking at this thing. Almost there. Oop. $33 viewers. I love this huge just live stream spike. This is by far our most popular Friday live day we've ever done, and that's very exciting. I've already taken a video of the smaller cup and sent it to the client, so we don't have to do that later either. Rahel says, I have a 50-watt fiber laser marking machine, good, that I'm trying to cut name necklace. I have no clue how to set it up for cutting. Would you be able to help out? Thank you. What material are you trying to cut the name necklace out of? That question is very material dependent. Stainless steel, rough. Start with a wobble. You need to turn your wobble on. So if your wobble's not already on, turn on your wobble. It's in the advanced parameter setting. So under speed, power, frequency, whatever, you go all the way down to the bottom. It's going to be a little box that says advanced. Click that. Check wobble. You got to check the box next to wobble. Turn the wobble on. Check wobble. And then start at like 0.3 for diameter and 0.1 for distance. And then your settings should be maybe 300 speed, 90 power, and then frequency somewhere between 25 and 45. Depends on what your peak power output is. I don't know what your peak frequency power output is on your specific machine. Every machine has a different frequency at which it outputs the most power. Mine is 37. Might not be a bad place to start. Probably pretty close to what you're looking for. So 390, then like 37, 30 to 40, somewhere in there should be solid frequency wise. And give that a try. Hopefully that works for you. This is done. I'm going to wash this. I'm going to put these on the shelf. And then we're going to start setting up for the 2400 pigtail flippers. So, exciting. We're switching jobs. Done with that nonsense. Got the drying rag over here. We'll get this dried off, and then we'll go start messing with the galvo. Let's turn off laser cam. Let's center this back up. Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay. All right. This one looks even better than the first one. I swear to God, you guys are so weird. We like sit and do this boring ass shit for like, what, how long has it been? 2 hours? And we have 30 people watching, and then I'm like, hey, we're gonna go do something exciting and really interesting, and 10 of you were like, see ya. Numero dos. Look at that. Shiny and clean. Looking real nice. Ugh. Get the other overhead on so you guys get a really good view of that. Look at that. Heck yeah. So like we were saying, slow? Sure, it's slow. But does it need my constant supervision and intervention? No. I can pop these in all day. Just leave it there, forget about it, and just swap them out every once in a while. And outside of that, I mean, like, you know, whatever. Would it be faster on the Galvo CO2? Yes. Do I have Brilliance lasering settings for the Galvo CO2 yet? No, I don't, which is why we're not doing it on the Galvo CO2. Would it be faster on the fiber? Unlikely, and it probably wouldn't look as good. That's something we're going to experiment with in the future, but we're not ready to do that today. We've got other things we need to focus on today. So just a little FAQ there for you. What am I, Samus? All right. So these can go back on the shelf. This one back on the shelf. So here's our next challenge. The pigtail flippers. We've 2,400 of these to do. 2,400 of these that need to be done. They don't really sit in any reliable way, which is annoying. They all need the same logo on them. They all have this little flat bit right here where they kind of flatten out. So to have the logo centered between these two sections would be nice, but not required. And I don't think that's actually going to happen. And here's why. The handles for the large and small flipper are very different lengths, which is going to change where center is. They also have different distances on their flat part. Ugh, excuse me. All right, there we go. So see the two flat parts? The flat part on the bigger one is longer than the flat part on the smaller one. So we need to find some area between these two where if we butt them up and we like mark and mark, it's going to hit both of them, right? We're not individually jigging these. I'm not separating 2,400 of these by size. I'm not doing it. That wasn't part of the deal. And it's not happening. So we need to mark all of these consistently. Man. Just not sure how I'd want to do it. I think if this is the biggest one, if we could create some kind of a box, we may be able to go. So, okay, so maybe we can't go the same distance on every one. Check this out. So we can't go the same distance from everyone from the flat part to the wood, but we might be able to go the same distance on everyone from the metal cuff down, because those metal cuffs on both of these are the same size. So if we say an inch in from the metal cuff, boom, now we've got a consistent location between all of them. So that's not a bad idea. I like the metal cuff idea. I think there's only two sizes. Let me go look in the box. Do we have any like medium sized ones? Or are they all big or small? That's the question. I'm just going to grab a handful of them. We'll see. Maybe we only have two sizes. If we only have two sizes, that would be ideal. Oh, I'm annoyed by these already. They all hook to each other. All right. Are you all the same size? Yes. That's good. Are you all the same size? Yes. Also good. Here's the next horribly annoying thing that's going to happen to us constantly while we're working on this gigantic job. These stupid red things are going to be coming off every 30 seconds. And they are 100% not getting all of those back. They're just not. I'm not going to play prop hunt in the box and fucking go looking for little red thingies. Also not happening. Not part of the deal. So, I think we have a decent plan in place. So what to do about this? Let's just think. Let's think. I have two small ones in front of me. I need a small one and a big one. So it needs to sit high enough that none of the spikes touch the bed. It also needs to hold the weight of the metal rod of the flipper. I think we need to start measuring things. So let's get into Illustrator. And we'll create a new document here. We're not using the artboard, so artboard size doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm thinking like a main tray that this is going to rest on. Like a main tray. And one of these flippers is, the big ones are 18 inches long. So I would say 18 inches for this box on width, at least 18 inches. It doesn't need to be very wide, but it should be a fair bit wider than the flipper itself. The flipper is at its widest point about 1.5 inches. So I say we take this to 2 inches. And next, our handle. I want our handle to sit in, but I don't want it to fall through. So we need a hole in this box. The handle is approximately, trying to be accurate here, 100. I'm just trying to line this up. 113 millimeters. This is going to be a kerf, so we can be a little under, and that's okay. So 113 millimeters wide, and let's get a width. 25 millimeters tall. It's about an inch. And what I'm thinking here is that this leather sticking out of this is going to catch on the side of that box. So when we set it into the hole, the leather handle is going to stop it from coming all the way through. Is that a good plan? I don't know. We're just going to have to make one. We're just going to have to make one of these and see. All of these pigtail flippers, thank God, the branding is on the same spot. So they can all start on the right side, which is great. And this box can sit very close to the edge. It doesn't have to be right on the edge, but very close to the edge will be good. Let's do a vertical line on that. And I think that's it. We don't have to build a stand for this. We could probably stand this up on some blocks or drill it into some blocks to give it the height that we need it to have. It doesn't need to be very tall. It only needs to be about an inch off of the table. So I think we could actually drill some blocks into this and then lock the blocks into place with like a jig, with maybe some like jig strips. So let's turn the fill off on that. We've got cut lines here. We'll save this. We'll call it flipper jig. And we'll come back into light burn. Let's go ahead and do some cutting. I have to turn off rotary mode, so we're going to shut the machine down. We're going to unscrew our rotary tool. You guys watched me set this up, so I'm not going to waste time on OBS trying to change the view and stuff. Just give me 1 second. We're going to plug our Y-axis back into the machine. We're going to make sure we switch our stepper controller back to the high amp setting. Now we're going to turn the machine on and let it home. We'll have to restart it again because it still thinks it's in rotary mode. But we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to get this stupid rotary tool out of my face. And we got to raise our bed way up. So we'll do that. I guess you guys can just kind of sit here and watch the bed come up for a second. Not very exciting, but we need to do it. And then I will find a scrap piece of wood that we can cut our jig out of. We have a lot to choose from. Come on. This is going to be the official Alex getting frickin' carpal tunnel video. All right. Whew. Workout. Okay, let me go find a piece of wood. bit of a mess, but that's okay. We're gonna move. Oop. I think I just unplugged our webcam there, but get that plugged back in a second. We're just sliding our sheet of plywood into the bed. We're gonna cut out of. Let's see what happened to you. Where did you come unplugged? All right, I think that's plugged back in. Excuse me, Mr. Laser Cam. There we go. Okay. So, here's our plywood is in the machine. Okay? Plywood is in the machine. We're going to cut over here-ish. Back to the desktop. Let's import our little JIG file. We're gonna cut. We've got, let's see. I don't really have any straight plywood settings, but the maple should work okay. 1/8 inch. I think this is 1/4 inch. Let's use 1/8 inch as a jumping off point. 30, we'll half that. 15 should do the trick for 1/4 inch. We shouldn't run the laser at 100 power, so we're going to set that to 90. This should work okay. Well, start in the top left. We'll send this over. Just call it cut for the sake of time. Oh, and you can't forget, guys, this is the worst part about Chinese lasers and light burn. We have to turn our rotary back off. Forgot to turn that off. So let's turn that off. We'll send it again. Cut to. And then let's shut the machine down and let it turn back on in non-rotary mode. What's up, Kyle? So this is just going to home again real quick. We can check to make sure we're out of rotary mode by bringing the nozzle all the way down. And it does come all the way down to the metal bar, so we know we're out. And I want to waste as little of this plywood as possible, so we're going to cut it like way down here. Cut to, let's give it a frame. Looks pretty good. Just a little higher. We're going to focus to the ply and then just a little bit closer to put our center point of our beam focus a little bit more into the middle of the plywood. Fans back on for our cut real quick. Don't forget air assist. Give you guys a little bit more of a bird's eye view of this. You can actually watch it go down. And we'll start the cut. Now, if I was smart, I probably would have cut the small hole out first and just checked to make sure that the flipper actually fits in the hole we cut, but worst case scenario, we can sand it down a little bit if we need to. I think we over measured, so we should be okay. Hopefully it's cutting all the way through. And I don't think it has. I can't really move it with the knife, so we're just gonna run it again. Better safe than sorry. I'm seeing more smoke coming from the underside of the plywood now, so I'm fairly sure that we've gotten through it this time. We're having focus issues over here. So we're going to focus up, and we're just going to rerun just that beginning portion over there on the right side. I'm not going to let it run all the way through. That should be a lot better. Okay, so now we can test this out. So, alright, so there's a problem. I didn't account for the smaller one's hook. The butt fits nice, but the hook is a problem because we need to really butt it up against this side because we're coming from the cap back, right? So it needs to, this needs to fit. If we try the fatter one fits right in perfect. That's exactly what we want. That's really nice. We drill a couple blocks in underneath. Boom, done. So, we're getting there. I think if we just chop this, short enough, to let the hook fall, it should still hold up the weight of the bigger one. So we're gonna chop this like right about here. We're just going to cut that with the laser really quick. I'm just going to do it with a pulse. We're not even going to set up a job. Just cut out a rectangle, dude, for the smaller one's hook. I mean, I can just chop it off, though. Do we even need all that extra wood? Just chop it off. Chippity choppity. We're done with this. All right, here we go. Chip chop. All right. Chippity choppity. Now, if we take this, that sits right there, right where it's supposed to sit. If we test it on the bigger one, shouldn't be too heavy, should still fit. It's just a little tight on the bigger one. I think we can sand that down to fix that. Just give it a little more. It's the height that's getting stuck. But still, very close. And it's well balanced. So we don't have to block behind where the handle's sitting. We can just block up here. Call it a day. It's a 2-inch lens. So, fans off. Gotta get the drill. I'm gonna drill a couple holes in this. So ashy. I'm gonna drill a couple holes in this and then drill it into some of our jig blocks. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure that I left my power drill at home, but we are not gonna let that stop us today. No, sir. Those screws are gigantic. You know what? Fuck the screws. This is laser everything, damn it. We're gonna super glue it. Here's the fiber laser wood thing from the live stream on the Academy I was telling you guys about, just in case anybody was wondering. So yeah, some of those nicer ones, really high frequency. Right up there. They're about to go bye-bye. Because they're getting glued over. Yeah, dude, fuck it. When in doubt, super glue. It's like my motto. So yeah, so I'm thinking just boom, like that. Call it a day. The one thing I do want is I want these blocks really aligned with the jig so that when we go in with the jigging tools to jig this in place, we don't have any issues with it being straight. So we're going to get this on there. Guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, we can just kind of tape it down at that point where we need it to be, but try to get it as straight as we can before we, you know, give up and get lazy. Put a little effort in. Give it a little weight for a second. Let's see. This Ohmtech rotary tool should do nicely because it's approximately 8,000 pounds. Still straight. Still straight. All right, now we chat for, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. And then we'll go put it on the CO2 and give it a shot. My little brother called me. Let's see what he wants. You rang? What's up? Ah. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, it was over 100 bottles. That's so funny. Yeah, no, we'll take care of that job for them. Yeah, we'll be done super fast. He did. I can't believe his name is Orion. That's a very cool name. Alright, man. Well, yep, it seems to. I mean, they haven't placed an order yet, but we'll I will follow up with you when they do. Cool. All right, well, I'm live streaming right now, so come say hi when you get home. All right, dude. See you. My brother's company just placed an order with us for 100 tumblers, which was kind of nice. So we'll get to do that soon. Okay, we'll take this off. Oh my god, the thing's so heavy. All right. And it just like keeps shedding ash. It's not a very clean cut. So now we should be able to take this and set it in. Mark it. Pull it out, take the next one, set it in, mark it, pull it out. Big one's a little tight. Trying to see where it's getting stuck. I think it needs just like a little extra space on the butt end of it. So I'm going to grab some sand real quick. Hi, Leah. I don't own a file because I'm a savage animal. So, it's getting sanded. Oh, but the sanding block fits in there so nicely. That's perfect. I look like I work in a coal mine. All right, let's try this. Much, much better. That's exactly what we needed. Check it out. Now you drop it in, you mark it, you pull it out. Drop it in, you mark it, you pull it out. It's getting a little stuck. It's a little heavy still. I don't like that so I don't know if you guys can see this. It's not going to be super easy to show you, but God, get out of my way. All right. So it wants to, the weight of the hook down here is pulling that down. Can you see that? So like if I get this straight and then I let it go, it pulls it forward, which is annoying because the little one sits straight up. So the little one's hook is not nearly as heavy. Maybe that's just this one. Maybe what we can do is put a block over here to keep this from falling. So when you place it in, it butts up against the block. And that stops this from moving. Glue a magnet along the shank. I don't have any magnets just laying around, so. Good idea, smart, but not in the cards today. All right, there we go. Just cut a rectangle for the hook on the small one on version 2. That still wouldn't stop this from tipping over though, because it's still hung off on the bottom. Little pieces of ply under the strap on each side, so that it falls and hits the. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea. Cardboard chip. Really only need it on one side. About that big. One more super glue. There we go. And we'll just place that right there as a spacer. That's beautiful. Hopefully they're all the same. Hopefully they all have that problem, and this isn't just like the one in the entire box with this issue. There's one flat. There's only one flat. The other thing, while that dries, I just want this to stop shedding all over everything. Why have a jig if it's not going to be nice? Doesn't need to be perfect. I just want it to stop shedding. There we go. That was better. Now hopefully when I set it down it won't just like snow a bunch of soot. Alright, are you in place? That's in place. So now, take it, we set it down, we mark it, we lift it up. Set it down, we mark it, we lift it up. That seems pretty repeatable. Pretty happy with that. Let's get another big one and another small one and make sure it continues to work. What's up, Lolo? So here's kind of our assortment from before. And we're just going to run through all of these and make sure they all fit. That one sits flat. It's just this one. That one sits flat. Okay, so the spacer seems to be required for the large ones, but it also seems to be effective. which is great. We'll set that one in. Same flat. Flat. We do have to pay attention. So one thing that we'll want to do, once we get this straight with the galvo, we're going to mark off 2 little guidelines down here so that we know right where this needs to fall, because this moves back and forth. So if we mark off 2 little guidelines, then we know we set this in and we just boop, and then, you know, that'll be a thing to check. So we'll set in, make sure this is between the guides, then we mark. Take it off, grab our next one, set it in, make sure, ugh, that one's kind of gross. There's things that are just going to get in our way, and I need to accept that because these all don't have the best leather. But we get it in, it sits there. Took a little crimping of the leather. We make sure it's in the guides, we mark it, we take it off. So this section, very repeatable. I'm super happy with that. I think it's accurate enough. It's not perfect. We didn't like machine a jig, you know, we super glued it, but it's accurate enough. So now we need to take this, we need to integrate it into our galvo setup in a way where we'll be able to use it repeatedly. That might be a little more difficult. So let's close our fiber laser, or let's close Lightburn. Do we have EasyCAD open at all? No, we don't. Great. Just turn on the CO2 galvo. Get some of these old jigs out of the way. Grab our new little toy and bring it over. Oh, it couldn't fit better. Let me move the laser cam over and I'll show you. Could not ask for better than this. All right, enjoy pizza. That sounds really good. All right, let me open EasyCAD so that it's not just like random bits of my desktop floating around this camera view. But if you look, you'll see our blocks fit perfectly on the bed, and our handle fits perfectly underneath the galvo. This just worked out so well. I didn't even plan that. That's serendipity right there. I mean, it just worked. And that's pretty freaking awesome. Look at that. that makes me really happy. So, where to go from here? Well, first thing I think we need is just a straight line straight across our work area, so that we can get things straight. And then once things are straight, we need to get things locked into position. So I think just a straight line just like this. Actually, you know what? No. I think instead, a box. I think if we line this up with the handle box, that'll be really cool. I forgot the measurements on it though, so let me remeasure it. So we're going to go a millimeter larger than it actually is. We're going to go 115. Ooh. This is only a 100 millimeter lens, but 115 by 26. See, oh man, that puts us out of bounds, but it's okay. Should still be able to use this to center things up. So with that lit, let's come back over to this view. And we're going to get a lot closer to it so you guys can see it. lining this kind of stuff up, we don't want to be aligned, or we don't want to be focused to the handle. We want to be focused to the jig. So we're going to come in here and focus really quick. It's like it's too spot on, and our laser beam is falling through the hole. So I think we need to come just a little bit taller. There we go. Now we can see our outline. So now we have to lock this into position. I think we're going to use our old friend duct tape to help us do that. With these simple little wooden blocks. I'm just going to tape one down here and one down on the opposite side. And then we'll probably put something in here so that it locks up this way, and that should be sufficient. Right there, that's right where we want it. I'm just pressing down as hard as I can. We're using our focus tool to lock down with the tape. Double check over here to make sure we haven't moved anything. And that still looks really good. Now we're going to do the same thing on the back. But now we have a point where we can kind of press up against, and that's going to help us tape the back down. So now we can only move left and right. Perfect. So we'll get this where we want it. Get a third item in there, like this little knife jig. We're going to do the same thing, get this taped down. Right into position. tape in. Same thing in the back. Now this isn't going anywhere. It's got a little play up and down, just like the tiniest little bit of play. We could probably add one more piece just to keep that from moving. If I can find something appropriately sized. Alright, here we go. This will work. So, jig bar right here, standard jig bar. We're going to come back here. We're going to thread this between the blocks and push this into the upwards position. So we're putting pressure on it this way. And we're going to tape it down right here. And that'll lock that in. And then we'll have every point covered. Press it up really hard and then lock our tape in. We got 2 steps here. 1, 2. Same thing in the back. Lock the tape in. 1, and the second step is down here. 2. Now that's not going to go anywhere. We're just going to do the same thing in the back. Forward pressure, locking the tape. 1, 2, and in the back. 1 and 2. There we go. Now this literally cannot move anywhere. The only way, I guess up. You could lift it up, but left, right, up and down, that thing's rock steady. There it is. That's rock and roll. That's awesome. Yeah, duct tape's amazing. Chris is here. What's up, Chris? So yeah, so there's our jig, guys. That's literally, that cannot move. Like that's rock solid, right in place. That's right where it needs to be. I'm really happy with that. The jig is up or down, taped down, but yeah. So the next thing we have to do is we have to, you could even, yeah, you could do a bit of tape right over the top to make sure that it doesn't come up, and we should probably do that. Let's just go do that. We'll just go do that right now, because why not? I'm thinking like right here. Probably just one, we probably just need one spot. The focal sticks are the perfect shape for pressing the tape down. Just get all these loose ends down so they don't touch anything. Alright, now it can't even go up. So now we've locked this for from every side. Yeah, they're like, I don't know what they're using them for, but I think they're like barbecue tools of some sort. Apparently it's for flipping meat on grills. I don't know anything about grills, so I'm not one to say. So the jig is down over there. Excuse me. The jig is down over there. So the next thing we have to do now is build out our file so that things go the way we want them to go. We don't need, let's see, so if we switch to desktop, we don't need this anymore. I mean, we need it a little, but not really. What we need to do is determine where in this space that collar is going to end and where we want our graphic to begin. Which is pretty straightforward. So we'll just grab like a little box here, and we're gonna shift select here, modify, align, and horizontal center to lock that up so we know that's center with our outline, which we just centered with our jig. Then we can delete this, and from here what we're gonna do is just find our kind of like our sweet spot. So if we light this and we jump back over to fiber view, I will grab one of the flippers, we'll focus to it, and then we'll see where we want it to fall, and we can move it with the arrow keys on our keyboard until we get it in just the right spot. And that's going to work for both sizes because we're going collar down instead of ass up. So should work out. So, if you can see it here, it's a little close to the flat end. It's a little close to the flat end, so we want to take it to the left. Let me just select EasyCAD here, so we can just use the keyboard, and we're going to tap it over to the left. Alright, that's a bit much. So back the other way. So it's like right in between the two. And that looks promising right there. That's a great spot. And the nice thing about this now is that it doesn't matter if we're using the small one, like the one that's in there, or the large one. Let's swap it out for a large one. And that looks great too. It's not perfectly centered between the collar and the flat area, but I would give that a pass. I think that's close enough. We did forget to focus, so let's just focus that and then double check and make sure they both still make sense. There's one. And two. Alright, so focus is a little different between the two handles as well, but I'm just averaging. I'm just going to take the average between them, and I think that's going to be fine. I'm not worried about the focal discrepancy there. I've also moved, you can see I've moved a little off axis here because I wasn't totally convinced that it was center. I think it looks much more center here than it did when it was up higher here. We could look at that one more time. I'm fairly sure it looks better lower. Actually, it might be better there. We'll leave it there. Yeah, Kyle, this is Galvo CO2, man. So now we're going to import. We need to find our file. And we're just going to do a little test run, and we're going to see how fast these can go and how long they're going to take. So let me pull the file up. So we've got our graphic here, and we're going to shift select, modify, align, center. So that's right in the middle there. We're going to hatch it. And we're just going to pick, we've got just kind of a general wood setting we use on the Galvo CO2. It doesn't make a huge difference what we pick here, but Pine Dark seems to work well. That's 2000 speed, 90 power, 5 frequency. And we can light this up and we can see how that's looking. That looks really great. Looks really fine right there. So with that laid out, we're going to finally turn on the Galvo CO2 RF tube. The fans on this are very loud, so try not to leave it on when I'm not using it. So we're going to let that come up. It's going to take a minute or so to warm up the capacitors on that RF tube. And then we're just going to mark maybe 10 or 15 of these. We're going to see how fast we can get the mark speed. I think I want to try Snake on this. Snake may not look good because it's got some big filled areas. But we are using Snake for now. You can see it right over here, Snake. The 0.6 millimeter line distance should be fine. 2000 speed is fairly quick. Okay, so the runtime on these should be like ridiculously short. Hopefully this is nice and fast. I think we're probably charged up. I do need to run some exhaust. Let me get that. And we're just going to let the exhaust warm up. We've got it right there. Nice clean spot. And we should be ready. I'm just waiting for the exhaust to kick on. It is kind of like getting ready for liftoff. All right, T-minus 3, 2, 1. That was a runtime of 1.3 seconds. 1.3 seconds. We could even afford to give them like 2 or 3 passes, honestly. That's a little ridiculous. For Galvo CO2, you don't have a choice. The capacitors need to charge in the tube. So if the capacitors don't charge up before you try to fire it, it just won't fire. That does not apply to fiber. That does not apply to CO2. It's just a Galvo CO2 thing. You gotta kind of let the thing warm up for a minute. You don't do crosshatch on Galvo CO2. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really add to the effect. All right, hold on. My wife's calling me. All right, let's run the big one and see how the big one goes. Wow, guys. Hi, what's up? What? Dude, it's like 5 seconds. Okay. All right. She has not gone into labor. But that was the first thing she said. She said, what if I had gone into labor? We could try to slow the speed down on this. But that's another successful run right there, guys. 1.2 seconds that time. So let's see if we half the speed here. So we're down to 1,000 at 90 power. Oh, look at that. Much better color. 2 seconds. Even if we give it 2 passes, that's 4-second runtime. We are suffering from a little distortion from the, because not only is the thing curving around, but it's also coning to a point. And so the text looks like it's sheared, which we don't want. So what I'm going to try to do is I want to move the text back as far as I can on the little one, because we know it'll fit on the big one. I want to move it as far as we can back on the little one to reduce that, at least the cone shear that we're getting on the text. Which we should be able to do just like this. Let me make sure that that's still good on both pieces, but it should be better. They still take just like a little bit of a finesse to get it in, but the jig saves us 99% of the work. So it works on the little one. Let's light on the big one. We're well away from the center on the big one, so that's fine. And we can mark that. Boom, perfect. That's done. We're done. That's it. It's jigged up. Final runtime, 2 seconds. Second runtime, guys. So, I mean, if we're being real, what we can probably do is I can grab one out of the case, hand it to my wife. My wife sets it in the jig, marks it. While she's marking it, I put the new one back into the box, and I grab a new one. She hands me the one that she just marked. I hand her a new one. We should never have to stop. If we have 2 people on this, we should be able to just do them nonstop. With the exception of like cutting open the boxes and like taping the new box up. So we tape a box up, throw it back out in the hall when we finish a box. Yeah, I mean 30 a minute, 180 an hour. Is that right? I don't think that math is right, Rick. Double check that. 2 seconds times 2 seconds is 1, so 30 a minute. There's 60 minutes an hour. If we're doing 30 a minute times 60, that's 1,800 an hour. If we're on our A game. If we're on our A game. We could get this done in 2 hours, a little more. No, 30 a minute doesn't account for jigging and toe tapping the foot pedal, but still. Yeah, 250 an hour with cycle time? Sure. Not bad. So if we're doing 250 an hour, that means we're going to get them all done in about 10 hours. The job is $6,200. Divided by 10 hours of work, $620 an hour. That's good pay. That's good pay. I don't know if it's, yeah, I guess 4 seconds to install, 4 seconds to remove, maybe. I mean, if I'm right there, if I can get like really fast with being there for my wife, you know, boom, hand it to her, and she slaps it in, we can get that down. But still, 10 seconds per, still, you know. I didn't mean to push a button on my watch there. Let's just say, for argument's sake, 10 seconds per would be 6 a minute times 60 minutes. It's 360 an hour. Would be 360 an hour. 2,400 divided by 360 per hour is 6.5 hours. It's even better. That's somehow better. How's the math on that better? Yeah, we'll get tired. We'll take break. Yes. Okay. Technicalities aside, we'll be doing about 6 to 8 hours of actual work. Not bad for $6,000. Not bad. Will we actually get through 1,800 in an hour? No. Because they're not on a... We're not on, you know, a machine. It's not automated. This isn't the Hershey Kiss factory, you know, but still, pretty good money. I'm not upset with that. I think that that's a win for us. So that's exciting. You sent me a V-slot jig design on LMA. I'll definitely check that out. And pizza at the halfway point. Absolutely. Pizza at the halfway point. And no, Mike Penna, I am not a robot. As much as I wish that I was. It does pay. It pays for the Galvo in one sitting. Very true. One job like that and you're green on your business, you know? I'm certainly not upset with that money. A job's a job. And at the end of the day, the big thing to remember, so there's virtually no overhead to a job like this. Outside of purchasing the laser, you know, we're not using any considerable amount of power here. I have my rent to pay, you know, if you want to factor that into it, 2 days worth of rent. I mean, the overhead is pretty much non-existent. So, really good job. But I think that's going to do it today. It's a good Friday live day though. I would stay and keep hanging out with you guys, but I want to upload a better episode today than just that silly little light burn tutorial. How did I estimate that job? I figured I'd be working on it for a week, and then I assumed what I'd want to get paid for shutting the shop down for a week and just working the entire time. And then I divided that number by how many pieces we had to do to get a per piece number. That's how I got that number. How much do you think I should charge for jewelry engraving? Everybody asks what people should charge for things, and there's a few factors. What kind of jewelry are you engraving? Is it valuable? If it's valuable, how much does it cost? How much would it cost to replace it if something goes wrong? What can your market bear? Your local market? How much are they willing to pay for a service like jewelry engraving? What's your time worth? Do you work a full-time job and get a steady paycheck, or are you trying to make this business work, and does it need to pay for your bills? You know, there's a lot of different factors. If you're early on, I would charge a little less, trying to make a name for yourself, trying to get positive reviews for your business. You charge a little less. Those leads come in a little bit easier. If you live in a really rich town or a rich neighborhood, you can charge more. If you live in a place with a higher cost of living, you can charge more. You know, if you live in New York City, you're going to charge a hell of a lot more for jewelry engraving than if you live in, the middle of Iowa, right? I mean, it's like they're different things. So the local market makes a really big difference. What your tool's capabilities are and how long it takes you to actually get those engravings done is going to be a huge factor. I don't know what you should charge for jewelry engraving. We have a house minimum here of $25. I don't turn the lasers on for less than $25 ever for anything. When I lived in California, that was $35. So it's actually cheaper here to get the same work done in New York than it was in California. In California, we did not turn on the lasers for less than $35, period. I don't care if it's a gas station keychain that you bought for $2 on your road trip that you're engraving for your friend. You're going to spend $35 having it engraved. It's just the cost of doing business. So setting house minimums is good. I like to charge like $25 per move. So I don't charge per letter. I think that's fucking stupid. I hate people that do that. Charging per letter is asinine and customers hate it. What I will charge for is how many times I need to touch something. So if somebody wants an engraving up here, and then they want me to flip it over, and they want an engraving here, and then they want it down on the other end, and they want me to engrave it here, and I have to pick this up and move it and reset it 3 different times, they're going to charge 3 different setups. They pay per setup, not setup fees like a normal, like a t-shirt printing company would charge like a setup fee. I mean setup, how many times do I have to touch it? If I have to touch it 3 times and we're only doing one piece, 20, 40, $60. Because I'm essentially doing the job 3 times. If they want 100 of these, it's going to cost less than if they want 1. So, volume is another factor in pricing. There's so many factors. The best way to do it is to start low, make a name for yourself, get good reviews, slowly increase your prices over time until your market will not bear your price increases anymore, and then you back off a little bit. So go as high as you can go, so you can get away with it. Take some experimenting. You're going to lose some customers. That's business. Go as high as you can go, slowly over time, until the market will not pay you to do what you are asking, you know, for money for at that point, and then you back off a little bit. And that's your price point. And it's going to take a little back and forth and some experimentation to find out what those price points are for different items. It was kind of a rant, I'm sorry, but it's a very complicated question to answer. It's not as simple as it sounds. Morocco, sure, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm definitely undercharging too. That's a big problem in this industry. People think that they can just click on Amazon and they see tumblers engraved and it's an extra $2 on top of the cost of the tumbler sitting in a fucking warehouse somewhere. And they expect to pay Amazon prices, or China prices as I call them. Well, I can get 800 keychains engraved for 10 cents a piece from China, already built, and they're going to ship it right to my house. I'm like, well, then get them from China. I literally tell people, go get them from China. There are people that are willing to spend more money to support local businesses, and there are enough of them to keep you in business. Even if it doesn't feel like there are, I promise you there are. There are. People do not like ordering things from other cities, let alone other countries. There are enough people out there to support your small business. There just are. People like to shop local. Companies like to shop local. It's good for company image. It's a really big thing for us here at this shop. We're in Rochester. This isn't a huge city by any stretch of the imagination. This is a pretty small city as far as cities go. And there are companies, we have so many companies near us that refuse to order things online if they have a local option. And that's how we get paid. Yeah, I mean, you know, Morocco's GDP is way less than the US, so things are going to cost less, which means you can charge less for those same services. But the same thought process applies. End rant. But yeah, so I don't know. I think we're done today. I'm going to go film you guys an episode. I have an episode to film for you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Friday Liveday. Hope you guys had fun. We did some different stuff today. We did some interesting things, I think, from, you know, the Brilliance laser ink. We kind of did like an in-depth look on that. We kind of did like an in-depth look on rotaries and stepper motors and things. It's not super in-depth, but more in-depth than we usually go. Sam says one of the processes of figuring rates out is called A/B testing. Yeah. Yep. A/B. Rick's off to the bar. Have fun, Rick. Thank you so much. And then we did the flippers. We set that whole jig up, and now it's jigged up and ready to go. So now we just need to chew through them. I'm sure you guys will get updates on that as we go. No problem. Definitely join in for the next one. Do not forget, if you have not already signed up for the Laser Master Academy, go sign up for it right now. You can find it over at masters.lasereverything.net. Go sign up for that. Get all the awesome bonuses, like bonus live streams, just like this one. We do them multiple times a week. Get bonus episodes of the podcast. You get our entire fiber laser and CO2 laser parameter libraries and a bunch of other stuff. No problem. It's all right there waiting for you, including access to that exclusive community. Iron sharpens iron. Spend your time with people that are serious about improving and scaling their laser businesses, and you will be able to do the same. So check out the Laser Master Academy. One more time, it's masters.lasereverything.net. If you like the Brilliance laser inks that we were using earlier, there's an affiliate link down in the description. There's a link to the Discord as well. It's our free online community for everybody to join. There's infinite number of benefits to joining that. That's over 1,000 members, so go check that out. And I think that's it. I think that's all the plugs. That's all the plugging that I have to do. But I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already, though you probably have. And leave a comment after this stream ends. Come back, reload the page, and come back and leave a comment. It helps boost engagement, and more people will see it when we're done being live. So go leave a comment after the stream is over. That's all I've got, guys. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.